Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing good. So I hope you have tried the sorting visualization project by yourself. Yesterday I had made a video around this time only. I don't know when you will be watching the video. By yesterday I mean the previous part. I had made an introductory video wherein I had basically told you the outline overview of whatever I was thinking. And this project is done by lots of people. It is not a very new idea though, but you can also do it and implement in your own way and add your own creativity. I'll also tell you in the end of this video what else you can add so as to make this look like a bigger project. And I hope you have tried it out by yourself with your or your honest efforts and all that. So let us see now how I did it, and I'll be taking you through. I've written the code, otherwise it'll take too long time. I've written it and I'll show you where all I've made my thought process, in which order I have documented everything. So yeah, let us start. So libraries that we need are these many only. We need for the GUI part, we need tkinter library, and to generate the array for sorting, we will be using random library. And I'm importing a Python script that is bubble sort code. Basically, in this script, we will be writing the bubble sort function so that everything will not be cramped up in one place only. It will be there in another script. Okay. Now, as you all might have by now known that Python GUI, we write like this only. We start by having a root or a window variable. Okay, see, this is standard root equal to tk, basically that window we get, right? And giving the window a title, giving it a particular geometry, and giving it a background color. Here you can keep adding different things and making it look more beautiful, but as of now I've done this much only. I'll come to these variables afterwards. So actually what happens is, okay, first I'll explain like the coding part, the GUI coding part. Okay, so GUI, I'll just run. So this is how the GUI will look like. If you observe here, the entire background is orange because if you see here, I have given orange here. So entire window background will be orange. Okay. And then there are two different places. One is green color, one is gray. This green color is basically a frame. Inside our GUI window, it is a frame wherein it has all these widgets for all the different options that we want. It has all the widgets embedded inside the frame. And this second part is the canvas where we'll be drawing the rectangles. Okay. So there are two parts basically. So I'll show that. So in the coding part, see, there is a frame. I have called it options frame. Why? Because all the options are there, right? Which button to press, what is the size of the array, starting the sorting part, all those things are embedded in the frame. And notice that this way of writing this, like the general syntax you can say. So for example, this is a frame, right? So we write frame, and then in brackets we have some attributes. What are that? First is in which window is it in? It is in root. Then we will give it a width, we will give it a height, we will give it a background color. You can do different things over here. You can read the tkinter library documentation. I have shared the link in the previous video. You can take that and read that. Okay. And one more thing to notice is that we have this grid function. Basically, where should our frame be? Where should our frame be, and how much padding we should give? So padding and all, again, it's not necessary. I've just given here. You don't have to give, but at least you need to know where to place it. So in order to know where to place it, just make a rough drawing, and in your mind only you think, okay, in which row and which column should it come? Then keep experimenting that. So you will not get it in the first view, most likely. You will have to take some time to know how the frame, the button, widgets and all are going to be placed. You need some time for that, I will say. So these two, if you know this much, you can write the entire GUI part by yourself if you know only this much, because all other things will be similar type of syntaxes only. So for example, see, this was frame, right? Now let us see canvas. So this is canvas. So I hope everyone can see. Should I zoom in more? Okay. So this is the canvas part. What is the canvas? See here, where we're going to draw the rectangles, right? This is the canvas part. So that also, again, where is it? It is inside the root window, whatever. Okay, and which row, which column, what is the background color, all that we give. Fine. So we use grid function. You can use place function also, but I prefer to use grid here. Fine. So that is the frame and canvas. Now see the label part. This is the label. Okay. So label is written like this only. Basically, label has a text. So first of all, where should the label be? Now we are talking about this label. There is a label, right? If you can see here, it is written algorithm choice. This is a label. Inside the label, there is a text. But where is the label? It is inside the frame. So you should tell inside the, if you tell inside the GUI, then this label will be placed here, somewhere outside the frame. So that is why you need to say where the label is, means you should say which frame is it in. Okay, then you have to give some text. And again, we are combining. So because Python is object oriented programming, you can combine this grid function here only. So make a label and directly place it. So make a label and we directly place it. Again, we give padding and all those things there, but that's not necessary for all of you. You can just ignore that if you. Now, see, I'll show you this. This is known as a combo box where bubble sort is written. This is known as a combo box. Okay. So for combo box, I think you need to import this tk library. Import from tkinter that, okay, ttk. And again, same thing. But here, we should pass a list. We should pass a list which contains some values. So in this example, we are restricting only to bubble sort. But whereas, in the later part, maybe I'll even include merge sort. So merge sort, you write it after bubble sort over here. Fine. Then what will happen is when you click this down button, instead of bubble sort only, another box will be there, which will have merge sort, and you can choose merge sort there. Okay. And by default, whichever value we want to choose, that we can choose by writing this. So that we can choose by writing this. Okay, so I'll name it like this. Fine. Now what else is left? We have this start button, this current button. So what basically happens when we press start sorting button? The program starts, basically the sorting starts. And what happens when you press current array? Current array, what will happen? It will draw the rectangles, but according to our values set in this lower limit, upper limit, and array size. So we have this one, entry, in the form of a scale. So we can set lower limit, upper limit like this with the help of a sliding scale, sliding bar like this. Okay, even our array size. So if you observe, all these three will be the same type of syntaxes only. Okay. Why are we needing all these things, lower limit, upper limit and all? Because we are generating the array with the help of random function. I'll show you when we go to that part, random function part. So here we are using the scale widget. Instead of scale, you can use direct entry box. where user will directly enter what is the lowest limit, what is the upper limit, in which range should all the values lie. So all that the user only can manually enter, but I have kept a scale over here. So instead of scale, you can just have an entry box also. I think that will be good enough actually. Okay. And notice that whenever we talk about button, so button, the syntax is similar to everything else. We have the place where we are putting the button, the text that should be displayed on the button, but here there is a command also. So what is this command? Command is basically what should happen after clicking the button. So for example, here when we click on current array, what should happen? The rectangle should be drawn, right? For example, I hope this will work. Yeah, so see, when I clicked on the button, these rectangles were drawn. So that is a function. That is something that is happening. So that is actually a function. So we say command equal to that function name. We don't give brackets, just say the function name. And everything else remains the same. All that background color, height, and where you're placing it, all that remains the same. Okay, so this is basically the GUI coding part. What happens is when we click on start sorting, see, when we click on start sorting button, the command goes to the sorting function. So you defined a sorting function where we have a global array, and this array is being passed on to bubble sort. Okay, this array is being passed on to bubble sort. But before we click on start sorting, we will click on current array. We want to generate an array, right? We will click on current array before, see, we did the same thing. We clicked on current array. And now if I just change, see, you can change the speed limit also. I'll show that part. I think I missed that. So you can change the sorting speed. That also has a scale. And you can say from how many seconds to how many seconds, the range. And basically what is the division, that it means the how, like what is the step count, by how much should it increase, all those things you can put there. Okay, so basically now I have set it to 2 seconds sorting speed, and if I click on start sorting, the sorting will happen. So what I'm trying to say is, see, if you keep the GUI window open for too long, it will give error like this. So I'll show again, but first we'll come back here. So first we click on current array. When we click on current array, it goes to a function called generate array. What is that generate array function? So generate array function is here. In generate array function, we are going to basically generate an array, but according to what values? So we have taken the entry from the user. Lowest value, what is it? Highest value, what is it? Size, what is the array size? We have taken all these three. By using random.range method, we are getting a random number and we are appending it to our array. This array is a global array, and in Python you have to write global before using that. Python has to know it explicitly that it is a global array. So after getting the array, we are drawing a rectangle. So what happens is when you click on the current array button, this function will be executed, wherein we will have our array according to our random number generator. So see here. So randomly numbers are generated from a lower limit 8 to upper limit 27. All the numbers are within that only, you can verify. And how many numbers are there? Array size is 7. So this is what I was talking about. And notice that we are drawing the rectangle because we want to visualize. So we have to draw the rectangle. So how are we drawing the rectangle? So we are passing what? We are passing the array, and which color do we draw for all the values? So there are two things, two parameters. The draw rectangle function takes 2 arguments. Both are arrays. One is the array which has the values, and another one is the array which has the color. So basically, while visualizing, we'll have two colors only, either red or blue. Blue will be for the case when we swap, and red will be when it is either already sorted or the function has not yet reached that point in the array. So till now, nothing has happened. We have not yet started sorting. So everything is red only. Okay. And how is it basically going to draw the rectangle? If you observe here, I have mentioned a space. So there is a space between each rectangle. Some small space is there. And also between the borders of the canvas, I have given some border spacing. Basically, this canvas.create function is used to create the rectangle, which will take top left corner as well as bottom right corner. It will take the x and y coordinates. Okay, so here you will be, here it is top left coordinates, and here it is bottom right coordinates. Okay, so how am I generating top left and bottom right coordinates? Well, for top left coordinate, we have x and y, right? So x coordinate, I'm generating in this way. I am giving border offset. Border offset is basically how much it should be from the border here. From this line, how much should it be? And spacing also. For the subsequent bars, how much spacing should be there? That will help for subsequent bars. And y coordinate is basically the canvas height minus height of our array. And I have normalized our array. The reason for normalizing is because it will then appear in a better way. If you don't normalize it, one value will be very small and one value will be very large. So you can't visualize that clearly. So I have just normalized the array, and whatever the height is, I'm multiplying by this number. So this number you have to decide by yourself, depending upon what is the size of your canvas and your screen width, whatever you have defined, that you should know. Okay, and all these values, spacing, border, bar width, all those things, it depends completely on the way you have made the GUI. And why am I using this delete function here? Basically, every time a swap happens, the rectangle should be redrawn so as to visualize clearly. What do I mean by that? For example, I say start sorting. See, it is happening very fast here. So what I'll do, I'll increase the speed like this, and see here. So after it got swapped, see, blue are swapping, right? And we are redrawing all the rectangles. So that is what I was saying, when we have to delete all and redraw the rectangles. So again, this is giving a problem because I had opened it for too long. Okay, so that is why every time we call this function, this delete, it should delete whatever is there on the canvas. And we give this function to keep updating inside the GUI. It should update the other things also, right? So that's why we give this function. So all this should happen while the GUI is running. GUI is also an infinite loop only. So all these things should happen inside that, okay? And now what do we see? So that was generate array, that was draw rectangle. Now we'll see the bubble sort code. So this is the bubble sort code. Basically, we are importing the time. Why do we need time? Because we need to give a delay. So whenever a swapping happens, we have to visualize, we have to see it, right? So there should be a delay in the process for seeing it. And where will that delay come from? Basically, whatever the user has set the sorting speed, we will get it from this value, this entry, this sorting speed entry. That only we will be passing here. that only will be passed over here. The same thing will be in delay. I don't think I have to explain what is bubble sort. Basically, it is just swapping the adjacent values, taking the maximum element and putting it in the right side, in the extreme right, and continuing the same process until all the elements are sorted. That's what we are doing here. We'll swap the values if left side value is greater than right side, because we want ascending. Okay. Then we are going to draw the rectangle. Whenever we have a swapping, we'll draw the rectangle. How are we going to draw a rectangle? Wherever the swapping happened, between whichever two values the swapping happened, for that we'll indicate it in blue color, and for all the others, we will indicate it with red color only. So this is one important thing to note. Whichever values we are considering for swapping, we'll indicate with blue. Otherwise, whatever we're not considering, we'll give it red, and we'll give a delay here. And when the whole array is sorted, we will print it in blue color. Any color you can say, any color you can give, but when the entire function is complete, all the elements are sorted, we will print, we will draw all the, or we should fill all the rectangle using a blue color. So I guess that's all this sorting function. Let me just run it again. So I'll set the speed and I'll keep some elements. I'll change and I'll say start sorting. So there is some issue with my ID, I guess. I'm not sure, but the program will run. Basically, I think I'm giving too much delay. If I give it here, I'll check. Yeah, it worked. So I guess, I don't know what, maybe too much delay I gave, I'm not sure. Just try it out in your system and let me know if everything is fine or if some issue is there. Basically, this was the function. This is the program. I hope you were able to understand and I hope you were able to code it by yourself. And I just wanted to explain this. I hope you have an understanding of that now. Okay. So please hit the like button if you liked it. Share it with all your friends as much as possible. Subscribe to the channel. It will really motivate me. Until the next video, take care, stay safe, keep learning, keep growing, stay tuned. Bye.